would we stand? Nigerians home and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Ohun abájọrò kì í pẹ́ kú, ohun àṣepọ̀ nílẹ̀ yẹ, ẹ̀yìn ọ̀la wa ti dára o, àwa Èkìtì àti parapọ̀, ká parapọ̀ ká tún pàánù pọ̀, àwa Èkìtì àti gbòmìnira ọ̀rọ̀ kan làwa ṣe. Èkìtì tí gbòmìnira, Èkìtì tí gbòmìnira, àwa Èkìtì iwájú la ó máa lọ lágbára Ọlọ́run, àwa Èkìtì ọ̀kan ṣoṣo máa ní wá ó láéláé.
Babatunde Fawekun, pray for us.
Almighty God, ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsel and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only things that will promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. So help us God. Amen.
Well, may I welcome my colleagues and everyone to today's plenary session. As we are all aware, we have a lot on our table. We have started screening, and today, by the grace of God, the screening exercise will be completed. And we may as well do the confirmation today. I want to thank you for all you have done. At least we've been able to consider those screened, and I believe their report by now is ready so that we can go ahead with the confirmation. And we will also look into others to be screened today. But before we proceed to today's session, I want us to consider the votes and proceedings for Thursday, December 4, 2025. And I will take us through the votes and proceedings so that if you have any observation, please raise, or any comment at all. So I take us through page 1. Page 2. Page 3, which is the last page. In the absence of no comment or observation, I will also say, and I must say, Honorable Johnson Oyekola Bode Adeoye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my distinguished colleagues, good morning to everyone, our guests in the House. My name is Honorable Johnson Oyekola, but I represent the good people of Ekiti West constituency too. Mr. Speaker, at last sitting, we observed an error in the way names of commissioner nominees were written, and it was corrected, particularly that of Mr. Femi Ajayi. It has the same error has repeated itself here again, addressing him as Honorable Femi Ajayi. So
Let the leg officers do their job well and also follow our proceeding properly here. The name is Mr. Femi Ajayi and not Honorable Femi Ajayi. And that is the title. Change the title to Mr. Thank you. In the absence of further comment, observation, I call on Honorable Ogushaki Oladele to move the motion for the adoption.
To move a motion.
Any seconder to that motion? Yes, Honorable Femi Akindele.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues. My name is Honorable Femi Olanrewaju Akindele. I represent the entire celestial and terrestrial bodies of Report Development Constituency 1. I rise this afternoon to second the motion that
And I put the question that those in favor, that the votes and proceedings for Thursday, the 4th day of December 2025, be adopted as a working document of this House. Say aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me quickly use this medium to appreciate the presence of some of our leaders. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Filani Oyebanji, you are welcome. I also recognize the presence of a mother, a leader of not just our great party, but highly recognized in the political terrain of Ekiti State. Well, they call her a Yeshewa. And no doubt, she's a Yeshewa, a Yeshoge. And that is Chief Mrs. Kemi Sola Christiana Olaleye. Thank you for coming. And I believe that your presence here also is gladdening to the heart and soul of our people. Dr. Yebanji, I hope we will be here together to the end of the plenary. Well, thank you very much, Clerk of the House. Any message from Mr. Governor?
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. No message from the State Governor.
Any other announcement from members from other constituencies or committee? Yes, Honorable Femi Akindele.
Right, Honorable Speaker, once again, my name is Honorable Femi Olanrewaju Akindele. I rise this afternoon to announce to members on behalf of the chairman of the ad hoc committee that was constituted last week, Honorable Lateef Akanle, that members should please turn in their observations on the MTSS 2026 to 28 today, unfailingly today, so that we'll be able to prepare a report for the sitting of the House on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I say, members, take note of that. The MTSS will need, that is our middle-term sectorial strategy, requires your input, and that was why the ad hoc committee was set up for us to be able to look at that document critically, scrutinize it, and draw your observation and send to the chairman of that ad hoc committee, Honorable Lateef Oluwole Akanle. By Thursday, by the special grace of God, we will be considering that document for probably, at least, so that we can easily adopt it. And why I insist that we should scrutinize it is because of the observation raised by the leader of the House. Having also looked into part of the document to observe that we have some of the some projects that are actually meant for Ekiti North, most especially Ekiti local government, that have been taken to Ekiti. I wonder why that has been done that way, so we have to look into it. And we have so many projects in the north that have been taken to the south. And I don't know, southern people may be happy that they are taking northern projects to the southern part. And but it's better that you don't allow that, because if the project is situated in Ikole, but it is put in the southern senatorial district, it benefits nobody at the end of the day, and that is why we must look at it critically and let us do it once and for all. And you know that this document is a document that will guide our government from 2026 to 2028. So, and that is why we must do a thorough job. Please, let's respond to it, and let's look at the document, and let's turn in our report unfailingly by Wednesday, so that they can come in with their report on Thursday for probably adoption of the same document. Thank you, Honorable Femi, for bringing that to our notice. Any other announcements or information? Well, yes. Also, this morning, you are aware that one of us lost his father, and that is Honorable Karim Gumbiade, and that has necessitated his absence from today's plenary. It's our prayers that God will grant the departing soul, Fidao Al-Jannah, by the special grace of God. And all we pray for is that God will repose his soul and also comfort the children and the family left behind. And our condolence goes to Honorable Karim Gumbiade. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. So, in the absence of no further announcement from members, may I ask the clerk of the House, is there any public petition?
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. No public petition.
Yet the one we have will be treated administratively. Any matter of urgent public importance?
No matter of urgent public importance.
Any personal explanation?
None, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, I just mentioned that the petition we receive is going to be handled administratively because it's a matter that will be treated administratively. Thank you. On that note, I call on the leader of the House to take us through the order of the day.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And my wish to welcome you to this beautiful day. Also, you are welcome. Right Honorable Speaker. I represent Ekiti Southwest Constituency 2.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have the order paper for Monday, December 8th, 2025 here with me. And on the order of the day, there are 3 items. Items 1 being Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill 2025, which is going for second reading. Items 2 is the screening of commissioner nominees. And this forms the last 2, and that's A, Professor Ojo Bakari, B, Mr. Sheun Fakwade, and the last but not the least item there is adjournment.
Thank you very much. Let me also announce, before we start the business of the day, that it's important to inform us that the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, in conjunction with other committees of this House, will be having their public hearing on the 2026 appropriation bill. That is the budget estimate for 2026. There is going to be a public hearing, and I know that members of society, organizations, MDAs, and the rest had already been invited for tomorrow's public hearing. And, as that message was going on, the chairman, House Committee on Finance and Appropriation walked in. So tomorrow is the day. So please, all of us. And also, I think it's important to announce. I don't know whether it has been made official, because anything royalty is always okay, not yet. Okay, thank you. There are times that you don't need to, when it comes to that, you don't mention that. But Akinyo, so you can understand, we will let you know when the time comes, when it is made public. Honorable Tajo Kuyuga, you are welcome. So, Leader of the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Next item on our order of the day is Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill 2025, which is good second reading.
Yes, you lead the debates.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And
after the debate, we are going to take second reading.
And my distinguished colleagues, if Mr. Speaker will allow me, I would like to say Ekwishe Takun Takun. I rise this morning with a very deep sense of responsibility to lead this debate on the Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill 2025, which was laid before this House now as an executive bill. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, before now, as many of you may know, I already privately sponsored an amendment to our existing revenue administration bill, especially to correct gaps in the area of casino operations, sport betting, slots and gaming machines, areas that were considered in our lottery and gaming bill, which this House passed in 2023, that were not taken care of in the revenue, Board of Revenue Administration bill. And those areas are very critical because the gaming industry has expanded rapidly. Our people are really investing in this part of activities, and our laws are silent in several important parts. I'm glad to inform this Honorable House that this new executive bill that was before us has now captured the very classes of gaming and entertainment that my private amendment earlier on sought to correct. However, Mr. Speaker, I must point out respectfully
There are two important classes, which is the bingo stakes, which this Honorable House already introduced and legalized under the Ekiti State Lotteries and Gaming Law 2024, are still missing from the fee and licensing structure in this new revenue administration bill. These categories generate significant revenue are lost together. Well, we apologize for whatever glitches you have. This is not our regular sitting, and this is not our regular chamber. And we just have to be moving our gadgets up and down, and that will have resulted into the glitches that we are witnessing at the moment. But that will be settled once the chamber is fully completed, and it's going to be an automated chamber. So we don't need to be passing mics around, just like we were having it before now. So it's going to be better. So to the people out there who are also watching us live, this is not our regular chamber. It's just temporary arrangements what we are having there. So as I was saying, so we have to move that. The committee will actually work on it. But please, let's make this debate very fast so that we can we'll just stand this down, commit this to a committee of the House to also work on it and come back with a report for the committee of the whole House. So, yes, go ahead, please. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Like I was saying earlier, despite these observations, this bill is not coming at a random time. It is coming at a time when the federal government has passed the new National Tax Administration Act 2025, which will become fully enforceable from January, like we all know. That national law now sets the standard for how all states must administer taxes, how they must collect revenue, and also interface with taxpayers. Let me say it plainly. Any state whose revenue laws fails to align with the new federal framework will suffer operational, financial, and legal disadvantages. This executive bill helps us to align with that federal structure. How? By centralizing all state level taxes, levies, fees, and non-tax revenue under a single professional service, by establishing a stronger board structure that mirrors the national template, by providing for modern compliance tools such as electronic invoicing, digital payment IDs, consolidated demand notices, centralized assessment, and harmonized enforcement procedures. Also strengthening investigative powers, audit powers, data sharing obligations, and taxpayer database requirements in line with the national standard. Mr. Speaker, if Ekiti does not domesticate these new national provisions, we will be unable to enforce many of our own taxes automatically. Federal bodies such as the Joint Tax Board, the PCC, and even private sector financial institutions will be compelled to prioritize national aligned state in automated system. Ekiti will be left behind. And the possible disadvantage of this misalignment, to be frank, we can have revenue leakages, we can have gaming operators migrating to neighboring states. We also risk
dispute with federal agencies because our enforcement actions may be considered ultra-vires or procedurally defective under the new harmonized tax regime. Also, investors may avoid equity because our tax laws will look outdated. The courts may strike down some state actions, especially assessment and penalties, if our law does not correspond with the federal tax administration model. All these are avoidable problems this bill will solve. Why this bill needs speedy passage? As leaders of our constituents, we know how difficult it is for government to fund obligations when the revenue basket is weak. The bill provides the legal backbone for one, modern tax digitization, two, harmonized demand notices, revenue courts, cross-agency data sharing, property integration with geotagging, and safe, transparent, technology-driven collections. This is the direction of modern governance, and the new national law already expects all states to be compliant by January. I'm very sure after the passage of this law, even there are a lot of needs that the Board of Internal Revenue will need to comply with that I'm not very sure this short 2-3 weeks window might be sufficient for them to align. So it is in view of this that I plead with my colleagues to give this bill the urgent passage it deserves. Even though, yes, Mr. Speaker has requested that we have to send this to a committee, as important as that is, we also need to quickly respond as appropriate, as timely, as necessary, and as needed. Let us also correct the omission of that observation I made earlier, so that our revenue framework fully reflects the equity law and positions us to collect all legitimate revenue. Doing this, we ensure that equity is not only aligned with the federal tax administration structure, but also internally coherent and financially stronger. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, this is the bill for the progress of Ekiti State. It is for the stability of our revenue, it is for the modernization of our tax ecosystem, and it is for the protection of our treasury against future legal collisions with the federal system. I therefore move that this Honorable House do consider this bill and grant it speedy.
Are you moving or you are imploring the House? Is it a motion? Don't move.
I'm imploring the House to grant this
All
bill
right.
speedy consideration.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
the Leader of the House, Honorable Tolulokpe Ige, for that beautiful, what's it called, position that you have made on this. And I believe a lot of our members' opinion you have captured. But that notwithstanding, I will call few others to speak to this bill so that we can go to the other business of the day. Yes, I don't even know how to call you now. Right Honorable Dr. Chief Akim Ayodeji Jamiu. And you know his own doctor is PhD. You know, Seventh Assembly is a very unique assembly. In the course of this assembly, 2 of our members actually got their doctorate degree. So we now have Right Honorable Dr. Chief Ayodeji Akim Jamiu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm Right Honorable Akim Jamiu. I rise this morning to make my contributions to this revenue law. I just want to, because of time, I wish to draw the attention of the committee that will sit on this. Because going through the archives, a list of law from the first assembly to the 6th assembly, I discovered that there are so many laws relating to this. It's either I want to all the committee. In the first assembly, we have a revenue law. Second assembly, third assembly, fourth assembly, fifth assembly. In fact, 6th assembly, there are 2 amendments to internal revenue laws. So we need to get to the clerk ask him to give you a list of the laws. The people that will do
You
it.
you know what I've done? I note
sir.
a lot of our members will have raised a point of order
Yes, sir.
that the previous laws should be
Repeat.
brought.
Yes.
But I said we have now pride ourselves as a digitalized house.
Yes, sir.
So it is assumed that you have all the laws
Yes.
digitalized and you have the right on your
System.
on your iPad. So
Yes.
that is why
We have- yes.
anybody raising that order, if you have the mind of raising that order, know that I'm going to rule you out of order.
Out of order.
So don't come to it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I want to urge the committee to take into cognizance of similar laws. So that we repeat them, or we amend, but we cannot even amend. We have to conform with the.
No, the best
we have to
is since
harmonize.
we have this as an administration of
Doctor,
revenue now,
so it has
we
to-
have to repeal the previous law
the previous laws,
and now reenact
incorporate,
this one.
enact this one. So I think that is the most that's the legal thing to do, and that's legislative thing for us to do. And I want to draw the attention. Maybe it may be an omission in case the committee that will work on the law. I want to draw the attention to page 133. It's a very simple matter, but is something we should take seriously. Under fines for motorcycle riders, that the issue of traffic lights, disobedience to traffic lights, is very serious. It has caused a lot of accidents, especially by Okada riders. So it is missing here. The fine is missing. Maybe it's an oversight.
Well, that could also be captured. I mean,
yes.
we can get that. You know, we have a law recently passed by this house. The motorcycle commercial motorcycle operators in Ekiti State.
Yes.
Where we have also made provision for fines.
Yes, sir.
Even if you escape the sword of administration of revenue, you cannot escape that of Okada riders,
Yes.
commercial riders.
It's very important so that we harmonize, so that we don't have double fines or anything like
the
that.
committee will
that's-
look into
yes,
that.
The committee will look into all this.
Yeah.
These are just my observations. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Dr. Shiv Hakim Ayodeji. Yes, I call on Honorable Babatunde Lawrence, okay? And after that, so that media you will know what to do next, I will call on Honorable Jacob Awoniyi or Pa Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues. My name is Honorable Babatunde Oke, representing Ikere Constituency 1. Mr. Speaker, this bill is desirable at this particular time when we are having tax reform in this country. And of course, recently the Nigeria Tax Act 2025 was signed into law, and it is important for us to also work in line with that particular act, which is why it is important for us to have this bill at this time. And also, Mr. Speaker, there are some key areas in this bill that make it so desirable. For instance, the bill provides for harmonization of tax administration in the states and the local government by establishing state joint revenue committee. So this particular bill now, we have state joint revenue committee. This will prevent double taxation and also eliminate harmful tax competition between the state and local governments.
It will even help the issue at hand that we are working on. Yes. That is before a committee. That's the issue of this.
At a low way.
Yes, so that at least.
Yes, this bill will also assist in that area. And also, there's a particular area that is also very important, and that has to do with accreditation of tax agents by the service to represent taxpayers. There was a time we even received petitions from some taxpayers about the assessment that they are getting from the Board of Internal Revenue. It is because they don't have professionals to represent them. This bill now has made the provision for people that can represent them, accredited tax agents by the service to represent taxpayers. So if there is any issue, those people can represent their interest, and of course, it will be professional. And also, there is also this.
Meanwhile, I must ask, these tax agents, I hope their requirement is stated in the law, and what qualifies you to be a tax agent. If it is not there, then the committee should also look at how we can work on that.
Yes.
So that it will not be for every Tom, Dick, and Harry at the end of the day.
Yes, according to the bill, it is within the purview of the service to accredit anybody for taxes. But we can also
let the law be explicit on that.
Let the law be explicit on that. We can also do that. Yes, and also there is a particular area that's also very important, and that has to do with to make this bill for the board of internal revenue to be able to implement this bill efficiently. There is a provision for payment of reward to whoever that is giving information to the board of internal revenue in the when they are carrying out their activities. For instance, if there is anybody that is trying to evade tax, if you give any information, this particular bill make provision for payment of reward. So if you give information to the service, you will get your reward, which is also very important for the implementation of this particular bill. And there's a provision for revenue courts, so that there will be speedy dispensation of justice when it comes to tax matters. So there's a particular provision that has designated some magistrates and high courts to be in charge of revenue matters. And also there's a provision for mobile courts also to also ensure that they can impose fine. They can also order forfeiture. They can also order closure of properties, which is also very important for the implementation of this particular bill. Because this bill, the primary function is to generate a regular and continuous flow of income for the government. So it is very important to ensure there are provisions that will ensure effective implementation of this bill. And I've looked at it. There are so many provisions that makes this bill desirable at this particular time and for effective management of our tax activities in the state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tunde Oke, for that explicit contribution and a well-detailed contribution. Honorable Pa Jacob Adeyemi Awoniyi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What is your query about that one? Is it not a pa?
Distinguished members of the House, I'm Honorable Jacob Adeyemi.
No, I have some people that are supposed to already, we need to enroll them at the other council. And I think he's one of the leader of that group. Right Honorable Akim Jami is one of them. And Sister Teju will soon join them. Yeah, please go ahead.
We will go there at the appropriate time, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm Honorable Jacob Adeyemi Awoniyi. I'm representing constituency 2. Mr. Speaker, I want to point to one aspect of one area of the bill that has to do with accountability. The executive chairman of the board shall be the accounting officer of the service. Mr. Speaker.
The what?
The executive chairman of the board shall be the accounting officer of the service.
That shouldn't be. I think we have to look into that.
So I want.
How would the executive chairman be the accounting officer?
Yes. And by the time, Mr. Speaker, and by the time we go to the functions of the secretary to the board, the legal advisor to the services shall be the secretary to the board. Reading through, there is no area that gives the assignment to the secretary of the board in the area of the staff or the personnel.
The committee will look into it. Please ensure that you have this also, apart from this debate, as if you are not a member of the committee, please ensure you also made that representation.
Thank you, sir.
There's always been that issue of political head being an accounting officer. I don't think a political head should be the accounting officer in any system. It can be the approving authority, but the accounting officer should be different from the approving authority. Yes, that is noted. Honorable Oluwayomi Ayorinde, PhD.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Esteemed
Right, Honorable Speaker,
esteemed colleagues, I am Honorable Yomi Ayorije, and I represent Idosi Constituency 2. I rise this afternoon to lend my voice to the debate on the Ekiti State Revenue Bill 2025. Right Honorable Speaker, this bill has far-reaching provisions that is capable of expanding or widening the tax net and bring about a more efficient tax administration to the state. The bill has features that make a tax system fair and workable. I've gone through it, and part of my observation are highlighted below. Number one, equity. By this, I mean fairness. Going by the provision of this bill, people with similar circumstances will pay similar taxes, known as horizontal equity. And those with higher ability will contribute more to the state's purse, which is generally known as vertical equity in taxation. Number two, certainty. This bill clearly empowers taxpayers to know what they owe, when, and how. In this bill, rules and rates are stable and very predictable. Number three, convenience.
Sorry, please, can you project a bit wide so that I can hear you clearly?
Okay. Number three, sir, convenience. This bill has self-assessment provision on page 28. This will make payment and collection seamless at a time and manner most convenient for taxpayers. Economy, that is cost effectiveness. This bill, when fully implemented, has the potential to bring down the cost of collection. The establishment of local government revenue committee on page 23 will ultimately decentralize tax collection and drastically reduces cost of collection. What I've also noticed, Right Honorable Speaker, esteemed colleagues, is the simplicity in which part of the provisions are edged in the bill. I have observed that in this bill that the rules are easy to interpret, applied, and enforce. Simple laws reduces evasion, tax avoidance, and administrative delay. All of these has been achieved in this bill. If you look at page 36, dear colleagues, under Book of Accounts, you will agree with me that things will become less cumbersome when this law takes effect. However, Right Honorable Speaker and esteemed colleagues, some of the fines and penalties appear too stringent and unrealistic. Take, for instance, on page 58, under failure to grant access for deployment of technology. Violators are expected to pay ₦1 million. I see this as an overkill. There is need for mass enlightenment and aggressive public advocacy. Otherwise, many taxpayers will run foul of this law. And unfortunately, the violation have huge ramifications. Nevertheless, the Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill 2005 is highly desirable because of its potential to raise adequate revenue for government operation while minimizing economic distortions. It is simple, it is fair, it is cost-effective to administer. It encourages taxpayers' compliances and reduces evasion. Also, By promoting equity, transparency, and economic growth, this bill supports stable development and public trust in government. I would like to join previous speakers to also enlist my 100% support that this bill should be expeditiously considered and passed in the interest of our dear state. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Oluwayomi Ayonide, PhD, for that wonderful contribution. I believe the committee that will be saddled with the responsibility of looking further into this bill will take those notes and align and work on it. Well, my colleagues, I must appreciate you for your contribution on this bill, and that will be the last person that will be speaking. Others can make their representation to the committee. You will agree with me that the whole essence of this bill is to ensure that our laws are also aligned with that of the federal laws at the national level. As we all know that any law made by the House of Assembly that contravenes that of the provisions of the National Assembly will also be become rendered useless, null and void, to the extent of its inconsistencies with the law made at the National Assembly, and which is one of the reasons why we have to look into this law. So therefore, we must also look into it that it actually aligns with that, most especially the new law, Tax Reform Law 2025, Act 2025, newly passed by the Act of the National Assembly. Also, we must also ensure that we look into the provisions of other laws so that we don't have laws that is in conflict with each other in the state. So we must also look into our laws while we are working on this revenue law. As much as I wish that we pass this bill immediately, we must also ensure that we come up with a very good law at the end of it. So the committee that will be saddled with the responsibility, and we implore them to please work assiduously, and it's going to be a very urgent job that at most 1 week. So you will know that you have a serious task at hand. And so before I commit the bill to a committee, let me call the clerk of the House to take the second reading. Clerk of the House.
Yes. Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill 2025, second reading. Thank you, sir.
Now, the bill has been read the second time, and that is the second reading of the bill, Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill 2025. And the bill is hereby committed to the House Committee on Investment, Trade and Industry. Please work within 1 week. 1 week, if possible, between now and Thursday, so that you can come back and, if possible, you can hold. Please hold a special plenary, public hearing on it within that same period that we have mentioned. Thank you. Sorry, I just I need to be guided. Since EKRS is under finance and appropriation, The bill is committed to Finance and Appropriation Committee and not Investment. Thank you. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and my colleagues. Well done. The next item on our order paper for today is items 2, and that's screening of commissioner nominees. With your permission, Mr. Speaker,
Go ahead, please.
I would like to seek the leave of the motion, seeking the leave of this House to grant access to the commissioner nominees, one after each other, that is Professor Ojo Bakare and Mr. Sheun Fakwade, to be admitted into this honorable House, to be seen and to be heard for their screening as commissioner nominees. I so move.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable Abiodun Babatunde Fawekun.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Babatunde Abiodun. I represent Idosi Constituency 1. I rise to second the motion as moved by the leader of government business that Professor Ojo Bakare and Mr. Sheun Fakwade be admitted one after the other for their screening purposes. So I second.
Those in favor that this House do admit the following commissioner nominees to be screened, that is, to be heard, to be seen and be heard on the floor of this House: Professor Ojo Bakare, Mr. Sheun Fakwade. Those in favor that they be admitted into this House chamber, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Kindly bring in Professor Ojo Bakare. Clark ló máa ń dùn. Clark ló máa ń dùn bá parí ìsìtì. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My dear colleagues, we have before us this afternoon one of the commissioner nominees, and that's in the person of Professor Ojo Bakare. Right Honorable Speaker, you may direct him to introduce himself to us.
Thank you very much. Professor Ojo Bakare. It is no longer new that you have appeared before this House on 2 occasions, and this should be the 3rd time, if I am correct, that you will be appearing before this House. But in the 7th Assembly, this is the 2nd time that you will be appearing before this honorable House. For your academic qualifications, it's not new to us. We are blessed, except if you have acquired after professorship, other academic qualifications that you want us to know. And still looking at you, if you have become taller, I would have said this is not same Professor Ojo Bakari that appeared before us, but it seems that it's still the same man of my height that is also standing before the house, Professor Ojo Bakari. So, your biodata might not be an issue also. Likewise, we know that your hobby, even as not just hobby, is even your area of profession. A professor of dance drama. I recall in one of the screening, we even asked you to display that. And to our admiration, you did that excellently well. Of course, you even danced to the mace to take a bow and go that same day, I recall. So that also is not in doubt. The only area that we want you to speak to us today, Prof, is to quickly tell us what you have done. Having screened you, got you appointed by the governor, and also posted to the Ministry of is it Culture and Creative Economy. So all we need from you now is to tell us what you have done in that ministry, in the Ministry of Arts and Creative Economy. What you have done, the House will want to know. And also tell us your relationship with the committee that is oversighting your ministry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The Right Honorable Speaker, Ekiti State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Aribasoye, I thank you, sir, for this opportunity once again. And I want to quickly place on record your support for my ministry, your support for me personally in the last 2 years. You have done everything possible to encourage the ministry and to encourage me to do more for the good people of Ekiti State through whatever I do in the ministry. I recall that the first step you took was to give money, to ask this house to give 1 million naira to support our Sunday show. I've never seen it anywhere in the world. I've never seen a house of assembly that gives ministry money.
Well, let me also correct that. It was not even the House of Assembly, but members on their own volition contributed money to support that show.
That show, yes, sir. Under your leadership, I was stunned positively. I thank you, sir. I also remember that in the course of the 2 years, I was also invited here, and I was given an award for being one of the 3 most performing commissioners. Another step that this house
is that not a trap for this house?
You know, to also encourage me to do more. I appreciate you, sir. And by extension, I also thank every member of this house, all members of this house, for their support for the ministry, for the sector, and for myself as an individual. Permit me, sir, to single out my representative in the House of Assembly here. Unfortunately, Honorable Karim Agumbade is not here today because he lost one of his parents. In absentia, I want to thank him for his support. And also, Honorable Joba, you know, also from my constituency, I thank them. And I thank every member of this assembly for their support in the last 2 years. Mr. Speaker, sir, By the grace of God, we've been able to do a lot in the ministry under my leadership in the last 2 years. I'll just mention about 4, 5, or 6, if time permits. For instance, we were able to create employment massively for our stakeholders, the talented, young, and even old people of Ekiti State in the last 2 years. We brought every year, we brought in minimum of 3 private sector players to bring their money to Ekiti State, employ our talented people for the projects we do here and pay them. For instance, in August last year, we brought in here Duke of Shomolu Production that gave every local government 750,000 naira to bring 15 minutes playlets to Ado Ekiti here and perform. We tagged it then Ekiti State International Theatre Festival. And we've done these in the last 2 years, and by the grace of God, the ministry is even preparing for the 2026 edition of that. So we use the ministry as a platform to create employment for our, teeming population of youths who are talented in the different areas of the creative arts. Beyond that, the ministry in the last 2 years has also assisted in bringing money to the coffers of the state through our pilgrimage program. Every year, in the last 2 years, we brought over 2,000 followers of Yoruba traditional religion to Ado Ekiti. What we do, our involvement there is not religious. Our involvement there is business. These are people who are citizens of countries like Venezuela, Cuba, Brazil, and the rest. And they are ardent followers of the Ifa religion. And if Saudi Arabia could bring people from other countries to Israel for pilgrimage, to Mecca and Medina for pilgrimage, Honorable Speaker, sir, we also see no reason why those who want to visit where they believe Orunmila spent 600 years and worked for 600 years, which is the hill on top of which we have the government house seated here. They believe that is where Orunmila lived for 600 years and worked. And they have always wanted to visit the place. Yes, sir. And all the paraphernalia of Orunmila, they are still there. And so we started bringing them in, and in the last 2 years, every year we have brought over 2,000 of them in. We bring them to Ekiti State. They are here for 9 days. They do their thing. But what concerns us there is that all our hotels are fully booked. They can't even find enough hotels to stay. Many of them pay for houses around on the foot of the hill.
So you have part of creative economy. That
is really creative economy, sir. Imagine if it is just $100 that 2,000 people spend in Ekiti State for 9 days. If they spend $100 every day, everybody knows how much that comes to at the end of the day. So the ministry, we've used activities to make money for the state. Apart from that, sir, as we speak today, Ekiti State has dominated the space effectively when it comes to the creative arts sector. The state that every other state is following Nigeria today is Ekiti State. To the extent, Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you. Maybe I should have even said this before now. I thank you because I was supposed to be here on Thursday. You helped me push it to today because I was in Cross River State consulting. What was I doing there? In 2023, Ekiti State was selected by federal government to represent Nigeria at the World Festival of Arts and Crafts in India, and we came first. And so this year, federal government chose Cross River State. And federal government had to call me to go and handle Cross River State. That is the job I'm doing presently. And that speaks to the space, the respect, massive respect that the state enjoys today in that sector. And as I speak, out of the 20 people that are going to represent Cross River State, there are 3 people that I took from Ekiti State that are in that team that are working there. So, everywhere we go in Nigeria today, the first state in Ekiti, the first state in the sector is Ekiti State. Mr. Speaker, sir, it may please you to know that the cabinet, Ekiti State cabinet, was dissolved in August. I have been begging other commissioners in the country to look for another chairman because they elected me 2 years ago as the chairman of all the commissioners of arts, culture, tourism, and creative economy in Nigeria. Since August, I've been begging them to look for a new chairman that I am no longer a commissioner. They have refused. I still lead them, that they know that I'm coming back. So, I think these are testament to the respect that Ekiti State enjoys in the sector through the work that this House and God Almighty and Mr. Governor have enabled us to do. Mr. Speaker, another thing is the conceptualization and designing of the biggest. And when I say it as a professional with every sense of responsibility. The biggest international center for arts and culture anywhere in the world. By the grace of God, in a matter of months, that center will be commissioned on the soil of Ekiti State. What is being built currently at Ekute, there is no facility for creative arts sector as complete as that anywhere in the world yet. What we did was to assemble the best.
Did I hear you say anywhere in the world?
Sir.
I said, did I hear you say
yes,
anywhere
sir.
in the world?
Yes, sir. Because what we did was with benefit of exposure. We assembled the best that we had in countries like America and the rest of them. And we corrected their errors and added what they ought to have that they did not have. To the point that we have a 48-bedroom as artists' lodge. So that artists can even take accommodation there. You can come to Ekiti State and shoot your film. You can shoot a whole film within that environment without going out. Everything you will eat, everything you will need to survive will be sold there. You have those sections. And you can edit the film successfully inside that environment. And by the time you are leaving, you just go with the finished job. It's a one-stop shop for everything creativity, including even having a research institute for what we call Yoruba Arts and Science. A research institute for Yoruba Arts and Science, where we hope that when the place begins to function, we can even collaborate with organizations like NAFDAC and conduct researches, more researches into Yoruba-based plants, drugs, medicine, and the likes like that. The place is over 70% completed, and we are praying that in a few months from now, the place will be commissioned.
Thank you.
For the good of Ekiti State people.
Thank you, Prof. Except you have one other thing you think you should tell us and tell the people of Ekiti State.
Okay, let me just say this, sir. We hope to do more. There are more we are doing. We are using the ministry. Now we are collaborating with the Ministry of Education. And I also want to thank some members of the House. When we did that program last year, they attended at the Civic Center. We are now partnering with the Ministry of Education to bring a resurgence to interest in the study of creative art subjects in our primary and secondary schools. Because the world we live in today is a world powered by creativity. It's a talent-powered world. And so, our children, our students should not only be made to concentrate on physics, chemistry, biology alone. Those subjects are good. But also because the biggest players in the world today are people who are talented. We are using the platform of the ministry to also develop and hone the talents of our young children and students, both in our secondary and primary schools. These are some of the things we are doing, and with the support of this House, with the support of the people of Ekiti State, and of course, with the support of our leader, Mr. Governor, we hope that going further, we will continue to do more if we have the opportunity to return to office. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, honorable members of the House.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Commissioner nominee, I believe that members will agree with me that when it comes to a man that understands the job, particularly the role assigned to him, I think you should give him to Professor Ojo Bakare. Do you agree with me on that? I will still allow members to make one comment before we do the needful of the take a bow and go. But I must also say that I hope you have a working relationship with the tourism board, because you should also work together.
Yes,
particularly, and then your working relationship with the House Committee on Culture is also very, very important. I don't need to deceive you. I have the report of the House Committee on Tourism to the effect that you, despite your many achievements, the relationship with your ministry under your leadership is not that it's not well properly coordinated. I need to tell you that. I will also say that if at the end of the day you are confirmed, but please ensure that the committee, and this is not just to you alone, this is to all ministries and political head of every FDAs, all commissioners in this state, that from now on, this house will not take it lightly with any ministry or political head that will not allow the proper oversight of their ministry. But please, I give it to you, particularly the performance. You are a man that understands the job. From what you have said, Ekiti will say, "Lai wo we." Yes, you only give what you have, and I see that you have actually give what you have. But don't also forget that you have a committee of this house that is oversighting your ministry, and they must be allowed. Some of these things you are saying, they are the ones that are supposed to even say it on the floor of this house. To say you have done this, you have done that, because of as a result of their oversight function to your ministry. Right Honorable Hakeem Jamiu. Why will I even call Right Honorable Hakeem Jamiu? I recall that the two of you are sitting on the same sofa when you were in primary school.
Right,
but please go ahead, please.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, thank you. I'm Right Honorable Hakeem Jamiu. I represent the people of Report Different Constituency 2. Right, Honorable Speaker, I don't want us to. Hello, Right Honorable Speaker. I don't know why they are trying to seize my voice. Maybe because they don't want me to comment about my voice.
It's Tokwe Longe that is behind it.
Okay. Right, Honorable Speaker, the nominee before us, as you have rightly stated, it needs no introduction. He has projected the image of the state well since he has assumed office, since 6th Assembly. And I don't want us to waste time on him, but I want to reiterate your charge to him that, and to all other commissioner nominees, that they should work together with the committees, with the supervisory committees of their ministry, and that goes for all of them. And I know Prof will also take to that candid advice. In view of this, I wish to urge my colleagues to please let us do his screening and confirmation. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Well, we will only ask him to take a bow. We will do his confirmation together with others at the appropriate time. Yes. Now, in the absence of no further comments, may I ask Professor Ojo Bakari to step forward, or do I say dance forward this time again? But please step forward, take a bow, and go. The result of your screening will be sent at the appropriate time. Thank you. Leader of the house, who is next? Yes.
Mr. Sheun Fakwade.
Sergeant Adam, go and bring in Mr. Sheun Fakwade. Meanwhile, why is it that, are there no other Sergeant Adam that can bring in others? Why must he be the one that will go out again?
Right, Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, we have before us last of the list of commissioner nominees, and that's in the person of Mr. Sheun Fakwade. Right, Honorable Speaker, I kindly hand him over to you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sheun Fakwade is also a notorious fact that this House once screened and confirmed you as a commissioner nominee. And your screening, after your screening, the House confirmed you. Subsequently, the governor inaugurated you as a commissioner, and you were posted to the Ministry of Innovation, of course, first of its kind in Ekiti State. So if it is about your biodata, academics, qualification, we are already abreast of that. So what we need from you now is just to tell this House your achievement as a commissioner in Ekiti State. And I will want you to speak to that, because members of this House will want to know. And I also believe that our people at home will equally want to know what you have done. In that period, I think you spent 2 years, 2 days as a commissioner. So for 2 years, 2 days, so what have you done? Thank you.
The Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorable members of the House of Assembly, Ekiti State. I want to thank this House for inviting for screening. I want to thank His Excellency Governor Biodun Abayomi Ebanji for his continued trust in my person and the leadership that he has entrusted me with, the friends and colleagues that I worked with for the time that I worked under him. I also want to thank the people of Ekiti State for their continued support for my principal, Governor Biodun Abayomi Ebanji. Without them, we will not be able to do anything. More importantly, I want to thank the chair, Honorable Odebumi, who was in charge of my ministry whilst I was commissioner for 2 years and 2 days, for the work that and the support that he gave me, especially. Without wasting this honorable house's time, I would speak to both the vision of Mr. Governor and what we were able to do as a pioneer commission in Ekiti State. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, members of the House, you would recall that Mr. Governor, when he set up the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Digital Economy, It was the first of its kind in the history of Ekiti State. But it should not be surprising because Ekiti State is known as that bastion or the heritage of knowledge in Nigeria. And it would be amiss if Mr. Governor had not gone ahead to set up that ministry. More importantly, because Mr. Governor had just then secured an $80 million investment from the AFDB for the Ekiti Knowledge Zone. And there was then, therefore, an important reason for the ministry to be set up. And I will explain in a few minutes what we have done and why the journey has actually just started. Immediately, Mr. Governor set up that ministry, and this Honorable House confirmed us commissioners, and we were then commissioned. We kick-started with a road show to go to Lagos and Abuja to try and invite some of born Ekiti indigenes who are abroad or who are outside Ekiti to come to Ekiti and come and set up technology investments in Ekiti State. 2 weeks after that, we worked with two partners to set up the Ekiti State Innovation Strategic Draft Blueprint, because these were questions that were being asked to us when we went to Lagos and Abuja. By the grace of God, sir, by November of 2023, we had successfully then launched Ekiti State's first Innovation Summit, where we brought in best of its kind innovation leaders in Nigeria to come speak to our young people and to make them understand the vision of innovation and why they were important members of the innovation ecosystem in the country. For clarity, Honorable Right Honorable Speaker and members of the House, Ekiti State is very, very ambitious to become not just the secondary innovation capital for Nigeria, but an important innovation capital for Nigeria in the future. And so it is important for us to have innovation leaders come to Ekiti, speak to our young people on the promise of innovation, and also see opportunities where they can set up innovation hubs in Ekiti State. To the glory of God, that Innovation Summit gave us one innovation hub that was established in Nado Ekiti, Nadebayo here, where one indigene of Ekiti State came up to set up shop in Ekiti State. But not just that. Before programs and activities can be successful, it needs to be backed up with laws and policies. And to the glory of God, the ICT policy that had not been approved or reviewed over 10, 11 years was successfully reviewed and approved by the Ekiti State Executive Council. These laws are now part of what is birthing the Ekiti State e-governance initiatives and digitization and digitalization initiatives. Not just that, sir, we are very fortunate to have a governor that is very foresighted and visionary. Mr. Governor believes that every child for Ekiti State should be equipped with future work skills that will allow them to compete globally. As I stand before you today, if I have to check my phone in the next 2 hours, it may be possible again that another disruption has happened in the global innovation ecosystem. Every single day, there are new ideas that are coming forth that are being championed by innovation global tech companies that are changing the face of the world. And Mr. Governor believes that every child of Ekiti, every child that schools in Ekiti should have these future skills that allows them to become globally competitive. And part of the challenge that Mr. Governor said to us is to work with the Commissioner for Education to then begin to redefine and redesign our curriculum so that it will be predictable. If you send any child to Ekiti in the next 10 years, you can most assuredly say, this is the minimum standard of quality of skills that our children will have. Today, by the grace of God, under the leadership of the governor, supported by my teams, then at the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Digital Economy, we launched very, very critical initiatives as pilot projects. Some of them supported by tech companies from outside Ekiti. And I'll mention 3 of them. The first one is what is called the Ekiti STEM Bootcamp. STEM Bootcamp was meant to critically appraise and introduce to our young people the kind of vision that Mr. Governor has for the future so that they can start getting interested in it before the midwifing and mainstreaming of these knowledge skills into our future educational system. If you're also very aware, I'm sure this house is very much aware that Mr. Governor has gone ahead to launch smart schools in Ekiti State. It's part of the collective vision of the governor to ensure that no child in the state is left behind as the world is leading in innovation practices. The second initiative that we embarked upon, of course, was called the Ekiti Whiz Kid program. The Whiz Kid was meant to design and arm and rearm and reskill our citizens and our young kids with mathematical skills. By the grace of God, Ekiti State came out of more than 200 students participating in the country. We came, I think, number 4 in the country in the last competition that we had. Ekiti State has also participated in robotic academic competitions in the country. But now let me go to some other aspects. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, distinguished members of the House, when Mr. Governor approved a first test project for us, we looked at the resources that Mr. Governor approved, and we saw that it was not going to do so much. So we went back to Mr. Governor and asked him to give us ideas on how best to utilize the resources. I want to bring to your notice that even though we did not announce it at that launch, Ekiti State launched Nigeria's first Ekiti Startup Garage that is situated at the Obafemi Awolowo Civic Center. This again is one of the firsts that Mr. Governor achieved when I was commissioner in those 2 years. The Startup Garage is meant to be our center where our young kids with brilliant ideas, even if the ideas are not perfect or finalized, can go and test their ideas. When that was launched, we procured Nigeria's first public sector robotic kits. And these robotic kits are meant to test ideas and test the initiatives of our young kids. The second thing that we also did was to bring in 3D printers that will help them. So if they want to, for instance, set up prosthetic arms, if someone has an accident, for instance, and they want some prosthetic arms or leg support, these are places where our children can go with this idea and test them out and see the kind of things that they need to do to improve it. Now, why are these things important? Why is an Ekiti Startup Garage important? Because ideas are what changes the world. And Mr. Governor believes that if Ekiti people are known as the knowledge capital of Nigeria, if we have more PhD per capita in the country, then we should not be poor people. Mr. Governor always reemphasizes that point, that a knowledgeable people cannot be poor people. So we believe, by the grace of God, that following this path, the future of Ekiti, being the knowledge capital of Nigeria, will keep going out, because as our people are achieving and acquiring new skills, they can set up businesses, and these businesses can then take care of themselves and their family. I want to rush very quickly. The last thing that we set up is the Ekiti State Robotic Academy. That was just around 2 months before Mr. Governor called the curtains on the last Executive Council. The Robotic Academy, by the grace of God, I'm hopeful that if confirmed and if taken back to that ministry, I'm certain by now would have been approved by Mr. Governor to now be an institutionalized entity for Ekiti State. What does a robotic academy mean for Ekiti State? Distinguished members of the House, Right Honorable Speaker, if you send your child to Ekiti State in the future and this robotic academy is institutionalized, the meaning is that a public school child can stand shoulder to shoulder with a private school child in Ekiti State. Because there's nothing you're going to learn in a private school that our Ekiti State public schools will not have. So you have STEM academies, you have robotic academies, you have centers of learning that are equipping our children with the skills that they need to compete anywhere in the world. I put it to our distinguished members of the House and Right Honorable Speaker that in the next 10 years, by the grace of God, if we continue at this pace and trajectory and we keep getting the investment that we require, Ekiti State children will not have to travel or jackpot to Lagos or abroad to earn a living. Because today, if you go online and you want to try maybe any artificial intelligence generative tool, you don't need to travel abroad to do that if you have the skills right here. The meaning is that you'll still be in Ekiti State eating your pounded yam and ishakpa soup and enjoying the best of resources and funding support and revenue that any child in Canada, in the US, Singapore, anywhere would enjoy. Not to take much of our time, I want to go very quickly to partnerships. We have been privileged in 2 years and 2 days under Mr. Governor to enjoy the benefit of having partners both within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Mr. Governor's leadership has led to the UNDP working with us, has led to the UK government working with us, has led to individual companies and entities in Lagos and Abuja working with us. 2 of these I would bring to your attention. The first one is that by the grace of God, the Ekiti Startup Garage now has metamorphosized to become a first of its kind in Ekiti State, in southwest Nigeria. In Nigeria, it's set up that Mr. Governor has now approved. It's set up that Mr. Governor has now approved beside the Ministry of Health that will seat the Ekiti State 1,200 seater for our young people to always go there to go and test their ideas. Mr. Governor, according to the last that I also knew in August, is also very ambitious in creating, maybe in Nigeria or Southwest.
When you say young people, are you not referring to young people like
Well, Right Honorable Speaker, young people, I believe, is based on your heart. You can be 80 and still be young at heart. So yes, Honorable Akim Jamiu is not actually cut out of the young people demographic that I'm speaking about. The point is, so long as you have the skills, you can do anything absolutely whatsoever.
So if tomorrow, Right Honorable Akim Jamiu is found there, nobody will say, what is he doing there?
No, sir.
But Right Honorable Akim Jamiu, you know what they are doing there for young people. And that is the only thing you should go and do there. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished members of the House, Mr. Governor has approved over ₦1 billion worth of infrastructure for our young people who will take massive advantage of that opportunity. This again goes to the vision of Ekiti as a knowledge capital for Nigeria. Not just that, the UNDP has graciously also consented that they are going to supply us with more than $600,000 worth of equipment for that facility that Mr. Governor is now setting up. And again, this speaks to the vision of the governor and the foresight that this state has. I am not sure how many states, with the little resources that we have been so clear-minded, so clear-sighted on the kind of vision that this state has and this state can be. I believe very strongly in my heart that the resources of this state is not in the natural resources that it has, but the people that it has. And I believe by the grace of God, if we keep following this through, Ekiti State will be one of the very top-core states in this country. Finally, Mr. Speaker, members of the House, I want to bring to your attention that also all of these things that have been started is just a tip of the iceberg. My firm belief every year is that Ekiti State cannot spend less than 60 to 70 billion naira on innovation. And I'll explain the reason why. Every time I have a meeting with my boss, the governor of this state, his burden is that our young people, able-bodied young people, should not be idle. And the meaning is that, Mr. Speaker, members of the House, if we do have, for instance, tech centers in each locality in Ekiti State, let's say 177 wards, our young people would acquire the skills that they need to develop websites, mobile applications, sitting here in Ekiti, enjoying the greenery and the ambience that the hills have to offer, and still earn their $1,000 a month, of course paying their taxes, and be the best that they can be. The meaning of that, Right Honorable Speaker and members of the House, is that if I earn $1,000 today as an Ekiti, 23-year-old Ekiti young man, that's more than 1.4 million naira. If I pay a tax of 300,000, I still have 1.1 million naira with me. The meaning is that, like one of our predecessors in this state used to say, I would have blown, Marty blow. And once I blow, God help me, I build a new house, I start to take care of my parents, I start to take care of my younger ones, and of course I start my family. So there's ripple effect on empowering and equipping our young ones. And so this burden of Mr. Governor is something that I know that if we're able to see through, that across our primary schools, secondary schools, and communities, we're beginning to have centers of learning, centers of skills acquisition, centers that pragmatizes and actually digitize how we do things, how we communicate with government. The state will be the best for it. And let me conclude on this regard. The Ekiti State House of Assembly is known for its trailblazing effort as being the first digitalized center House of Assembly in Nigeria. And it is not a surprise because we are known to champion trailblazing things in the country. Imagine that across our communities, sorry, Right Honorable Speaker, what I forgot the other time is, Mr. Governor also plans to actually equip the state with fiber optics. It's part of the plans that Mr. Governor has. And I'm sure by the grace of God, this is something that is going to be followed through. The meaning of fiber optics in Ekiti State is transformational.
A content maker in Ogotun Ekiti, for instance, who sits in his house, can do a content, can do a skit, and produce it, launch it, and YouTube, it garners maybe 2 million views on YouTube. It will earn hundreds of thousands of naira for that viewership. The meaning is that our young people will have no barriers. They will have no hindrance. They will have no cap on their abilities. And so, fiber optic is very, very important as we go ahead. Mr. Speaker, I can go on and on. I can speak to the UK government who has supported our young people with £12,000, our startups that are proliferating. And finally, Mr. Governor has also approved a 100 million Ekiti State Innovation Support Fund for our young people. And I'm sure by the grace of God, even if I'm not brought back to that ministry, it's something you'll be hearing about in the next couple of weeks. Let me conclude here, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Well, dear colleagues, you have listened to Mr. Shehu Papade, Commissioner nominee. Without descending to the arena, I must say that what I have seen this afternoon is brilliance, is intelligent. I must say, a young man full of vision and ideas. That is exactly what I have seen. This does not stop members from asking their questions. But I will also say, just like I mentioned, Professor Ojo Bakari left this place, was here to say, this is a man that also understands the job. No doubt. No doubt. I believe that this young man can also take Ekiti to where we are going, to the next level. But this is subject to other members' opinion, and this is not to descend to the arena. I've only listened and what he has said. But I will allow members to ask their questions or make comments. Honorable Lateef Oluwole Akanle.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Lateef Oluwole Akanle, representing Ekiti East 2. Distinguished colleagues, we have here, like the Speaker said, a brilliant soul, clear-minded, and visionary young man. He has spoken a lot about technology and all that. Can you please throw more light on Ekiti's knowledge zone? Can you please enlighten us further? What steps have we taken? Where are we now? And where are we going to on Ekiti's knowledge zone? Thank you.
Okay. The Ekiti Knowledge Zone, sir, is the AFDB. I am aware the last time that now we have cleared most of the reallocation of persons or people or households who will be displaced from that 206.
Maybe I should ask, do you supervise Ekiti Knowledge Zone?
So the Knowledge Zone, there's a component of the Knowledge Zone under me, but it sits majorly under EGDIPA. But of course, there are interministerial conversations regarding who does what. For instance, the ministry that I spearheaded, superintendent over, was responsible for skills acquisition, innovation fund programs, and of course, all of like young people to have the skills that they need. So yes, and
sorry, 1 minute. If that is the case, I believe Committee on Investments oversight EGDIPA. You need to invite EGDIPA to speak to the House, your committee, through your committee, speak to the House through your committee on that knowledge zone. You need to bring them on board. Let them come and speak to the House on knowledge zone. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, I believe based on the vision that Knowledge Zone is set up with, the $80 million is a drop in the ocean of what is to come. And I'll give you an example, sir. There's a place in the US called the Kendall Square. It's in Massachusetts. It sits directly opposite Harvard, just like our knowledge zone sits directly opposite the Agro Cargo International Airport and sits 4 kilometers to the Afe Babala University.
Silicon Valley?
No, sir. This Kendall Square is like the life sciences version of Silicon Valley.
Oh, Silicon Valley, okay.
Yes, sir. The implication last year, for instance, was that the venture capitalists, Awantolowo Tofa Invest in startups, invested more than $13 billion in businesses in that Kendall Square. So imagine that our young people with the right skills who are setting up businesses and startups move to the knowledge zone and start up businesses. The potential is that if a young man has developed prosthetic arms that is better than someone in Silicon Valley or San Francisco, someone in America or in China can come invest in that young person or in his business. So the idea of the knowledge zone is a center or coalition where the best of minds, the best of businesses, the best of startups are doing business. It's the typical Palm Grove, Shomolu area of Lagos where all the printing. And what you have in the knowledge zone is knowledge interpretation, knowledge acquisition, and using that knowledge to set up businesses that caters for the needs of the world. Sir, Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, sir, the digitization that we have done in this house is nothing compared to the different digitalization that is still coming to this house in the future. And imagine that it is made in Ekiti and startups, businesses that are now supplying all of the things that we need to do in Ekiti, in Southwest Nigeria, in Nigeria as a whole. So that's the vision of what the knowledge zone is. And
as a matter of fact, for your information, part of what we are doing now, developing our own hub, and that is done by our own staff right here.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that is exactly what you are also part of what you are referring to, that our own business that you also develop through these skills, our children, young ones with right skills, and what they are offering that will attract businesses all over the world.
Yes, sir.
That will also ensure, I believe that is the best way to improve our economy, to improve our people. And knowledge zone is one of the things, by the grace of God, by the time it comes to a full blown, that will also change the narrative in Ekiti State.
Yes, sir.
So I think since that is not directly under your supervision, I think we should just take that question off him and we move it. But please, like I said, the Committee on Investment ensure that ECDIPA appear before you, before this out through your committee. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So do that immediately. Yes. Comments? Oh yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I am Babatunde Abiodun Faweku. I represent those in Constituency 1. Mr. Commissioner nominee, on your CV, you wrote here coordinating first occasion, Elisha, abstinence, and safe sex. We want you to shed more light on this, particularly the safe sex aspect of it.
I don't understand you. In everything that I've written in this CV, that's the only thing you can see. It says abstinence, but if you cannot abstain, then have a safe sex. Is that not what you have said? Okay. Yeah, well, you can respond.
The right speaker has really helped me in that regard. I believe firmly that the safety of our young people is a collective responsibility. I mean, growing up, I was raised not just by my parents, but community of people who looked after me. So you're referring to some years back.
Yes, Honorable Johnson Yokola Bodiade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The nominee response to this question might change the focus of the exercise we are embarking on. So I plead with Mr. Speaker to rescue the nominee from answering that question, because the topic is a little of diversion.
Well, Honorable Johnson Yokola Bodiade, Why I may not be able to toe that line is because it's contained in the nominee's CV. And the CV is before the House. Is to answer to the question arising for what he has presented before the House. So allow him to speak to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Health of every adolescent, of every child, of every citizen in Nigeria is a collective responsibility. At the time that initiative was ongoing, Nigeria was on the rising trend of some of the highest prevalence of sexually transmitted infections, especially HIV/AIDS, and what myself and 5 other young medical heads embarked upon then was go across every secondary school talking to our young people about adolescent health practices, sexual abstinence, and of course, if that cannot be adhered to, safe sex practices in secondary schools. And of course, I was 16 years old.
Why are you so excited? Honorable Tokwenonge, why are you so excited about safe sex? Yes. So why are you so excited about that? I think you have done justice to it. Please, I think that is all. Honorable Tunde Oke, and after that, I will take Honorable Tokwenonge. Yes. But I don't know. I don't understand the excitement about. He only spoke. Of course, he said abstinence. That was the main thing. And in case at all, then you now talk about safe sex. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues. I am Honorable Babatunde Oke, representing the Ikere Constituency 1. Commissioner nominee, from my own assessment, I am proud of you. You know what you are doing from your presentation. And I just want to ask, and it has to do with monitoring and evaluation. Of course, you have mentioned so many initiatives from your ministry. How are you monitoring, how are you evaluating the effectiveness of those initiatives? And also, from your partnership, you didn't mention institutions like universities, research institutes. Are you leaving them out from the partnership? Those are the 2 questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. There is an investment that we attracted on behalf of the state. It's called the Flybox Initiative. And the initiative actually brought more than $20,000 to the state university right now. So that is on research. Sir, to answer you long term, research is pivotal to the knowledge zone. The knowledge zone is not like the typical manufacturing special economic zone where you are doing a lot of heavy manufacturing, involves oil or environmental degradation. So I know that once, even now, if I get back to government, I'm sure that if this house confirms me, this screening, that I'll find out that there's been a lot of progress in that regard, because all the tertiary institutions are the people who produce doctorate, master graduates, and they are the people that are for the kind of level of sophistication of knowledge that will translate to businesses or health or health tech, for instance. And so in this regard, the quality of the PhD program or the master's program in Ekiti State universities are very critical to the success of knowledge zone. And I'll give an example. Nigeria loses around 40 to 50% or 60% of all the food that we produce in this country. And you just need to go around your communities to see it. Basically because of preservation methods. And one of the preservation methods that are being used globally is called the gamma irradiation. And gamma irradiation is actually a very highly sophisticated, high-paying job, but you need specialized skill set for it because it has to do with radiation, and you know what radiation does. Even then, there are a lot of people who fear that once their food is radiated, it contains chemical cells that will impact and affect them. But right here in the, because we have an agro-cargo airport, and we have the knowledge zone that is meant to be the epicenter of knowledge. If we have our universities, high-level radiation program, food safety program, these are things that can attract all food states, food-producing states in Nigeria to Ekiti State to send their product there, radiate the product, serve it, and send it to the Ekiti State agro-cargo airport and export out. Let me give one final explanation, sir. We produce like 90% of yam in the world, but Ghana exports more yam than us because Ghana has a irradiation center that we don't in the country. So it becomes a front leader in setting up a gamma irradiation in Ekiti State. Two state, radiate your apple, it stays on the shelf for like 4, 5, 6 months, and when it is ready and cleared by the health institutions, you can take it to the agro-cargo airport, which is international, you take it out of the country. The meaning is that the number of revenue that we, both the airports, both citizens working here is unbelievable. I'm talking about tens of thousands of jobs. The second thing, sir, that you mentioned is on monitoring and evaluation. During my first stint, I was privileged to work with my chairman, Honorable Odebumi, and I believe that work will be much more strengthened now, because now that we have our footing on the ground, now that we have clarity on the directions to take, and now that we believe that investment is going to come in more heavily, there are collaboration work and practices that will bring to bear by this House committee that will help us to know where to adjust things, where things are going wrong or not. But also to emphasize that the partners that we have worked with have their own in-house monitoring and evaluation team and their KPIs and their objectives and readiness assessments that makes them know that they are achieving the objective while Ekiti State is also achieving its objective. And I want to thank you, sir, for your leadership in midwifing this ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Please, let's make it fast because we will still go. We still have other things to do today. Honorable Tokwelonge, then I call Honorable Femi Akindele, then Honorable Odebumi, and that will be the end. Thank you.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Longe Temitokwe Ademola, and I represent the good people of Oyo Constituency 1, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there's a doctrine in the law of thought that says res ipsa loquitur, meaning in law, fact speaks for itself. Mr. Speaker, I want to say to you that this commissioner nominee, who is also from my local government, is one of the youth in Ekiti State that we should be proud of. Suffice it to say, Mr. Speaker, that this young man before us, in his first tour of duty in Ekiti State as commissioner, he was able to independently attract FDIs to Ekiti State. He was also able to attract foreign partners to Ekiti State to develop Ekiti State, especially our youth. Mr. Speaker, this commissioner nominee before us, I make bold to say that in 2019, he delivered the 30-year strategic master plan for Ekiti State in 2019 under the administration of His Excellency Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Aside from that, Mr. Speaker, this commissioner nominee before us is one of the few people, few Ekiti indigenes that has actually gone through extensive training in the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore. Mr. Speaker, for those of us that knows what Lee Kuan Yew stands for, Lee Kuan Yew is an institution that is a global leader worldwide in the area of public policy and governance, where we have world leaders, global leaders in business, in governance, in administration, where they have attended and trained. This young man has also attended that institution, which ranks first in the whole of Asia. Lee Kuan Yew is first in the whole of Asia. Lee Kuan Yew can be likened to the Harvard universities of this world. Mr. Speaker, suffice it to also say that this young man has independently developed an app that is called Jassy, even before he came to Ekiti State. That app is on Android and iOS. And what does this app do? It is used in monitoring and tracking government funding for transparency, for accountability, to monitor government funding. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, without belaboring ourselves, with very profound respect to you, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we should go ahead and conclude the screening of this young man, who I believe is not only an asset to this state, is also one that we can be proud of, that has also exposed our youth to global competitiveness. I'm sure we know what ChatGPT, AI can be used to do in the world of today. That's where this man is about to take Ekiti State to. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge my colleagues that we should waste no time to not only screen, to also confirm this commissioner nominee. Not only that, we should do it timeously, we should do it expeditiously, we should do it right away. Mr. Speaker, I also plead with my colleagues that we should not waste time, and we should do his confirmation with immediate effect and automatic alacrity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, thank you very much. Right away could be any time. It's still right away. Thank you very much. I will take Honorable Femi Akindele.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Dear colleagues, good afternoon. My name is Honorable Femi Olanrewaju Akindele. I represent the entire celestial and terrestrial bodies of Report Federal Constituency 1. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate you, and I want to appreciate the House Committee on Rules and Business for giving us this kind of timetable. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, you recall that we started with one of our best in the state. All the commissioner nominees are in their best. But when we started this screening last week, you remember Akin Oyebode started, and during his presentation, I told you that day, I said at the floor of this house that I had good smiles when I saw people outside and when I heard him speak. As Honorable Speaker, you have equally saved the best, one of the best for the last. Listening to Mr. Shion today, I'm particularly proud of him. I have no regrets. I have no form of lamentation for screening, for him, but part of the team that screened him on 2 occasions now. Right, Honorable Speaker, this man has justified the reasons why we screened him, and I can tell you that Ekiti State, especially the youth, will be the best for it. Right, Honorable Speaker, in line with Proverbs 22:29, seeth a man diligent in his work, he will stand before kings and not before women. This man is diligent. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments on the commissioner nominee. And I must agree with you that what you have said, by his own performance here, I would say cannot be far from the truth, and I cannot agree less with you. Honorable Idowu Odebumi.
The capacity, Right Honorable Speaker, Ekiti State House of Assembly, distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain my humble self, Honorable Comrade Idowu Odebumi, representing the good people of Oye Constituency 2. Mr. Speaker, today I'm one of the happiest man on earth, seeing a young, vibrant brother of mine towing the path of ICT revolution in the world. It is audible to the deaf and visible to the blind that the world today we are passing through revolution on ICT tech. Even the fair ahead of us today, if not because of the technology aspect, the fair is in the next few years to come, the world will move from the face of analog totally. Thereby, if some people did not brace up in technology,
they are going to lose their job. So today, the government of Ekiti State has told the part of preparing for the future ahead of us. And by so doing, Mr. Speaker, you will agree with me that Ekiti's youth are yearning for befitting atmosphere to display their talents. Ekiti's youth are yearning for mentorship, people that will guide them in bringing out their talents and being a creative one to the world. And today we are having before us a young, talented man ready to walk along with the governor of Ekiti State, if confirmed, by continuing the job he has started. And by so doing, I so much believe that in the nearest future, we are going to become, Ekiti State is going to become the economic hub of this country and Africa as a whole. I want to urge my colleagues that we should please expedite his confirmation and allow him to join Mr. Governor in moving the Ekiti State forward towards shared prosperity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. On that note, and with that comment from Honorable Idowu Odebumi, I think it is now important for us to allow this nominee to take a bow and go. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. What we have now is for us to quickly go into the confirmation. But I will ask that we stand down for 5 minutes to come back. No, we are going straight to the confirmation, but let's stand down 5 minutes, and we'll quickly have an executive session right within these premises. Thank you. So if you are in support, say aye. Aye. If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. The House is stand down for 5 minutes, and all members should meet at the chairman's office. Please, thank you.
Projecting the laws, promoting the oversight, capturing accountabilities, showing impacts and inputs. EKHA TV, the eyes have it. Projecting the laws, promoting the oversight, capturing accountabilities, showing impacts and inputs. EKHA TV, the eyes have it.
Say aye. If you're against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The Governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, has assured that his administration will further increase the speed of progress in the 2 remaining years ahead. Presenting his second State of the State address at the State House of Assembly, Oyebanji noted the strides his administration has recorded in upgrading the Ekiti economy despite all odds and ensuring investment promotion. He highlighted progress made in driving the education and health sectors to a pride of place, ensuring welfare of workers and pensioners, promoting agriculture, and ensuring security, law, and order are upheld, among other milestones recorded.
We will continue to work with our security partners to ensure that no gaps are allowed and continuous improvement is entrenched. Governance derives its force from law and its compass from sound policies. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the leadership of the honorable members of the Ekiti State House of Assembly for being worthy and reliable partners in this regard.
Earlier in his remarks, the Speaker, Right Honorable Adeoye Aribasoye, said that the legislature has interlocked effectively with the executive in actualizing the mandate of the administration.
In these past 2 years, the synergy between the Ekiti State House of Assembly, affectionately known as the Seventh Assembly, and the executive arm led by Mr. Governor has been nothing short of exemplary. Together, we have worked diligently to realize the core mandates encapsulated within the 6 pillars of Mr. Governor's administration. This partnership has fostered significant achievements in business and economic reforms, fiscal responsibility, probity, and accountability.
In this house, we are the representative of the people, and I deem it necessary for us to move a motion, that I will move a motion, that the social contract that Ekiti people signed with Mr. Governor should be renewed to extend beyond 2026 to 2030.
Lawmakers took turns to analyze the successes and gains of the first 2 years of the regime. Babajide Agbeyo for EKHA TV.
If I suppose say high, if I against say the high service.
Unveiling the new Ekiti State House of Assembly website, your hub of details. Here, you have access to all you need to know about legislators and legislations in Ekiti State. Special features. This website gives you access to bills brought up, plus laws and resolutions passed by the Assembly. The website also links to EKHA TV and the live streaming of our plenary sessions on YouTube and other handles. It has the feedback window feature, which allows Ekiti people and visitors on the website to report urgent happenings and misconduct around their location or constituency. This can be sent as an audio recording for a start. Other cogent features. Have your public petitions submitted through the website to the appropriate offices. Bills and laws passed made available for public to read only. Database and profile of members of the current and previous assemblies made available to enable quick check at a glance. The news and publications of the House up for public access. Link created for people and organizations to schedule and book appointments to visit the House of Assembly. For these and more, log on to www.hoa.ek.gov.ng. Who can beat this? EKHA, first and best in e-parliament integration.
If I suppose say high, if I against say the high service.
I welcome all ministries.
Stakeholders in Ekiti State have discussed modalities for flood and erosion control ahead of predictions and warnings issued recently by Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. They converged at the State House of Assembly for a public hearing on flood prevention and erosion control organized by the joint committees of the House.
We have the belief that we have to scale up our activities, even though Hado remained the focal point in line with the prediction of NIMET. We again got additional approval from Mr. Governor recently to scale up our activity to another 7 local governments.
When they fall 6 running hours, the people here can bear 2 vehicles. There will be flooding. And in order to prevent damages of life and property, we saw the role the governor played. The governor brought excavator.
The stakeholders who applauded government effort towards checking flood-related disasters called for more enlightenment, strict compliance with environmental laws, and relevant punishment for defaulters.
Make sure in your environment you treat nature the way you want nature to respond to you. Because climate change is a thing that has come to stay with us. None of us can escape it. None of us. The global temperature today as of this morning is 1.5 degrees, and it is anticipated to rise to 3.5 degrees in the next few years. And if this will happen, that means
we are in for it.
Lawmakers in attendance emphasized the need for residents to understand the negative impact of flood and other disasters as they commended proactive actions by the state government. Glory Amadife, reporting for EKHA TV.
If you're supposed to say hi, if you're against the high service.
The Ekiti State House of Assembly has highlighted the need for the police and other security outfits to go beyond reactionary approach by getting proactive in checking serious crimes in the state. This followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by the lawmaker representing Emure constituency, Honorable Mariam Ogunlade, over worrisome cases of abduction happening within her constituency.
There is need for government to work closely with traditional rulers, community leaders, and residents to foster a culture of peace and cooperation in Emure and other towns in the state. The traditional rulers and religious bodies should organize community vigilante groups and other local security initiatives to complement the effort of former security agencies.
The Assembly Speaker and other members emphasized the need to address whatever laws preventing the bearing of arms by the Amotekun Security Network and related outfits in the interest of the welfare and adequate security of the Ekiti masses.
Where is the spirit of federalism if we cannot even engage our own local police? If we cannot engage our own people to secure our land, then what is federalism? I think it is right time for us to rise to the occasion.
The lawmakers affirmed that every legislative possibility will be explored to ensure the welfare and security of the people take priority as a primary objective of government. Glory Amadife, reporting for EKHA TV.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next goodwill message will come from the Conference of Speakers of State Assemblies. The forum is represented by Right Honorable Adeoye Aribasoye, Speaker, Ekiti State. Let's put our hands together for the representative of Conference of Speakers of State Assemblies, Right Honorable Adeoye Aribasoye, for his goodwill message.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Senate President, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Your Excellency, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, members of House of Representatives, my dear colleagues, the speakers of various state houses of assembly in Nigeria and members of House of Assembly in Nigeria, please, I think at this juncture, let me maintain the already established protocol. I mean, the one that is rightly established. Distinguished guests, it is with heartfelt honor and a profound sense of purpose that I stand before you today, representing the Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria at this pivotal international legislative dialogue on women and constitutional amendment in Nigeria. I extend warm greetings and solidarity from the state houses of assembly across our great federation. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the House of Representatives Committee on the Review of the Constitution for convening this vital engagement. Your unwavering commitment to fostering inclusive governance in Nigeria is commendable. I also wish to acknowledge the invaluable support from the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC, and the European Union, which highlights our shared vision of empowering women and promoting their political inclusion. Today's dialogue transcends mere conversation. It is a clarion call to action, a powerful platform where legislatures, civil society, and stakeholders unite to confront the entrenched challenge of gender disparity in Nigeria politics. Despite our collective efforts over the years, the statistics remain disheartening. Only 4 women serve in the Senate, that is out of 109, and a mere 16 out of 360 in the House of Representatives. And to make the matter worse, 55 out of 990 in the state houses of assembly in Nigeria, representing 5.5%. This stark underrepresentation is not just a statistic. It is a reflection of systemic barriers that we must dismantle with urgency and resolve. Thank you. I must also say that whatever I'm reading represents the opinion of 990 members of the State Houses of Assembly in Nigeria. This gathering is an opportunity, a chance to right historical wrongs and pave the way for a more equitable political landscape by advocating for specific amendments to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We can create pathways for women's leadership. Central to our mission are proposals for temporary special mayors, including gender quotas, reserved seats, and political party quotas. These mayors, already in place in countries such as South Africa and Rwanda, have proven effective in transforming political representation for women. And we must seriously consider how we can adapt them to our context in Nigeria. The state houses of assembly play a pivotal role in this constitutional review process. And I believe that it is important for us to know that we are collaborators. But today, I can say that that is not also showing in the arrangement. I look at the program, Conference of Speakers, I think it's just by insertion now. Even the city arrangement, the chairman Conference of Speakers has no place. And I think we must understand that it is important that we are an important partner, and that must reflect in whatever we are doing. As representatives of the grassroots, we are closest to the people, and our legislative endorsement is critical in actualizing any amendment to the Constitution. The 1999 Constitution mandates that at least 2/3 of the state houses of assembly must ratify any proposed amendment. Therefore, our commitment is essential for driving the change that women in Nigeria so rightly deserve. I assure you, and when I say hi, I mean the 990 members of the state houses of assembly in Nigeria, that the Conference of Speakers is fully committed to ensuring that this dialogue translates into actionable and concrete results. We will continue to work with the National Assembly, but National Assembly must be ready to work with us also, and other stakeholders to amplify the voices of women and support the necessary amendments that will pave the way for greater political inclusion. Let me close by saying, and please, if I say I'm closing, you know, I'm a lawyer. I may have another conclusion. Let us remember that enhancing women's political participation transcends a mere legal obligation. It is a profound opportunity to empower
Thank you very much, dear colleagues. You are welcome back from the executive session. We need to give the report of the executive session. Leader of the House, can you give us the report of the executive session?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and my dear colleagues. Yeah, the House dissolved to an executive session, and at the executive session, the House discussed the confirmation of the commissioner nominees. It was resolved at the executive session that the House goes ahead with the confirmation of commissioner nominees. And that is the report of the executive session. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Go live now. What are you doing? Clerk of the House, can I have the comprehensive list of the Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, you will recall that on the first day of this screening exercise, this House screened and also confirmed the nomination of Mr. Kitude Oyebode, who had already been confirmed. Is that correct? Yes. Now, after that, the following nominees appear before the House. Right Honorable Olatubosu Franklin, Professor Bolaji Aluko, Mr. Jobewe Kolawole Kende, Chief Folorunsho Olabode, Mr. Adidayo Gold Adeshola, Chief Mrs. Tosin Aluko, Mrs. Peju Babafemi, Professor Patrick Tedela, Mr. Cheun Fakuade. This was the list sent to us, and Mr. Fashai Kayode Omotayo, Right Honorable Karonwe Oladapo, Mr. Awe Abimbola Oluwafemi, Otumba Dolamu Adeniyi, Professor Ojo Bakare, Dr. Karim Makanjuola Akande, Mr. Atibioke Olaya, Mr. Femi Ajayi. Now, at the executive session, the House decided and discussed the screening, and it was agreed at the executive session of the House that the nomination of Right Honorable Taiwo Olatubosun be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. It was also agreed at the executive session that the nomination of Professor Bolaji Aluko also be confirmed. If you are in support, say aye. Aye. If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. Also, it was agreed at the executive session that Mr. Jobewe Kolawole Kende be confirmed. If you are in support that this nomination of Mr. Ajobewe Kolawole Kende be confirmed, say aye. Aye. If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. Also, it was agreed at the executive session that the nomination of Chief Folorunsho Bamidele Olabode be confirmed. If you are in support, say aye. Aye. If you are against, say nay. Well, the ayes have it. Yes, I believe that, there were reservations expressed on some of the nominees, but the ayes have it. Mr. Adidayo Gold Adeshola was also the House, the executive session, at the executive session, the House agreed that its nomination be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, the House agreed that the nomination of Chief Mrs. Tosi Aluko be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, we have Mrs. Peju Babafemi. It was also agreed that his nomination be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, Professor Patrick Tedela, who appeared before the House on the 9th day of December 2020. Sorry, it was agreed at the executive session that the nomination of Professor Patrick Tedela be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, at the executive session, the House resolved on Mr. Sheun Fakuade that since there is a petition and also a response which has not been considered by this House, that this House stand down the confirmation exercise to another date. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Sheun Fakuade's confirmation exercise has been stand down for another day. The confirmation will be done at a date that will be agreed to by the House. Also, those in favor that the House has agreed at the executive session that Mr. Fashai Kayode Omotayo's nomination be confirmed, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor as agreed at the executive session that the nomination of Right Honorable Karowi Oladapo be confirmed, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, those in favor as agreed at the executive session that Mr. Awe Abimbola Oluwafemi's nomination be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, as agreed at the executive session, that the nomination of Otumba Dolamu Adeniyi, even though with reservations, particularly on his performance at the floor of the House, that those in favor that his nomination be confirmed say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And I think the reservation was expressed in the ayes. Also, this morning we screened Professor Ojo Bakari, and at the executive session, the House at the executive session agrees to the confirmation of Professor Ojo Bakari. But if you are in support that Professor Ojo Bakari be confirmed, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. It was also agreed at the executive session that Dr. Karim Makonjola Sakande's nomination be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Also, it was agreed at the executive session that the nomination of Mr. Atibioke Olaya be confirmed. If you are in support, say aye. If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. And lastly, but not the least, it was agreed at the executive session that the nomination of Mr. Femi Ajayi be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So, in all, 18 nominees were sent to the House. 17 were clear. The last person, not that his nomination has been rejected, but this is subject to further legislative process, and that will be done at a date that will be announced. Not that his nomination, Mr. Chionfaku Ade's nomination has not been rejected, only that his confirmation could not say true today. It has been shifted to another date. If you are in support that this is the true position of what happened at our executive session, say aye. If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the House, ensure that this resolution of the House is transmitted today, on or before 5 p.m. today, to the Governor of Ekiti State for further action. Thank you. Leader of the House.
The Right Honorable Speaker and my dear colleagues, having exhausted all the items in our order of the day,
what's the order? Yes, you can read the order. Rule 14. Do you say Rule 14? It's
Yes.
not possible. That cannot be order Rule 14.
Order 8. 3, sorry.
Order 3, okay.
Order 3, Rule 14.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, sir. Distinguished member of Ekiti State House of Assembly, I am Honorable Tunde Idowu. I represent Ikere Constituency 2. Mr. Speaker, Order 3, Rule 14, I read. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, a member shall regularly attend the sitting of the House and those of the committees to which the member belongs. And there is no rider, Mr. Speaker, to whether there will be condition or not. Mr. Speaker, I have observed for a number of days and time that some of our members in this House, they absent themselves from the sittings without, you have not been reading a letter of permission for us. So I wonder why people should abstain from sitting for such a long time without any notice to the member. That is my order, Mr. Speaker. I've observed some of them. I refrain to mention name. Mr. Speaker.
Then as good as your order is, if you don't mention name, then it goes to no issue.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, I've observed that ADO 1, ADO 2, the member representing ADO 1 and ADO 2 has not been coming. We have been here for screening. We screened almost 18 nominees. We have been here since last week. I have never seen any of them.
Well, let me also mention to you that Honorable Ado, who is Ado 1? Ado 1 is Adegbite, Abi? Yes. Adegbite is Ado 1. Yes. I can tell you that I have his letter in my office. At least, and the permission was granted for him to go and attend to urgent matter.
Thank you, sir.
That is very important. Also, sit down. Also, ADO 2, that is the Deputy Speaker. I'm equally aware that she is on, at least presently, she is on an assignment. Presently, she's on an assignment. And you will believe my story to be of a truth. So, ADO 2, where she's attending a West Africa parliamentary meeting in Abuja, at least in the last 1 week, and I believe she will be back. Now, thank you. So, your order only to me is just for clarification from me. If those you have mentioned, but on a serious note, I think It is equally important to state that the only reason why we are here is because our people have elected us. All of us sought their mandate, and they gave us that mandate. And we also told them we are going to represent them well. I think it behoves on us as legislators to also represent our people very well. Absenteeism from legislative duties, I don't think is also good. I also note that we should also know there is a constitutional requirement. There is a constitutional requirement. So we should not wait for that day when our constituents will also demand from us if we had actually met the requirements. I know so many people, many honorable members, who will never for any reason miss sitting of this house. As a matter of fact, if I thought they are going to miss it, there will always be information ahead of time. I can say of a fact today, one of us had an emergency. He left and he still came back. As a matter of fact, he sent of that if at all I am not going to meet up, particularly debate on the Ekiti State Revenue Administration Bill, that these are my position. That is what is expected of a legislator that knows his or her onions. And as much as we will want to protect ourselves, I think it's equally important that we should also work worthy of what we have been elected to do. We should work worthy of the responsibility that has been given to us, not just on occasions that members will be coming to the house, not when that we have occasions that we want to showcase our face. We should come at every time, attend plenary sittings, attend committee meetings, attend every other meetings of the house. I think it's very, very important. Chairman, I understand why you raised that, because you are the chairman house committee on ethics. It seems your committee is idle and you are looking for a job. But I'm not sure you are going to get one to do in this legislative session. But please, I encourage us as members that we should live to the billing of honorable member, and we should be honorable member indeed. Thank you very much. But let me also commend those of us who are committed, dedicated, all of us committed, dedicated to work. We have been sitting without a day off. I know what happened in other legislative house. Most houses of assembly in Nigeria, they will only see twice in a week. But for this house, since last week Monday, you have been sitting without any break. Here we are again. So if others are working and some others are not coming, then that is also not good. And I think if there is anyone at all, let them turn a new leaf. Thank you very much. Leader of the House.
Right, Honorable Speaker, for that very, very important submission. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have exhausted all the items on our order of the day, and it is right that we retire home. And in view of this, I want to move the motion that this Honorable House, this distinguished and Honorable House adjourns Senate. I so move.
Can it be Senate? Tomorrow is Tuesday. There's going to be public hearing on budget, so the House will not sit. Let's allow them. But on Thursday, we'll be coming because of the MTSS, and who knows whether the Committee on Finance and Appropriation will be able to turn in their report on the Appropriation Bill 2026. It is also good for us if we can do all this early enough, so that the signing of the budget will be done early enough, so that we can go on our recess as early as possible, because I know you have worked year in, year out, and I think you also deserve to enjoy your recess. And Honorable Akim Jamiu, Right Honorable Akim Jamiu, I say recess. Yes, that is what I said, so that they can enjoy their recess. So it's better for us to just do the job once and for all now. Latest, maybe next week, we will conclude with the budget, the revenue bill, and few other things on our table. And the House can go on break. You will have that break to also have time with your family. At least your family should also enjoy you at this period, and with your constituents, to have time with your constituents. And for you to be able to do other things, we will decide when we are going to resume once the recess is announced. But I think it's important for us to do all the needful now, and then we can go on recess. I know some houses where budget has even not been presented that have gone on recess till next year, January 26. But because of your commitment, dedication, you are just doing the job. But the God of recompense will reward this assembly for your commitment, dedication, sacrifices, selfless service that you have rendered to the good people of Ekiti State. I know it, and I must always mention it to even everybody that cares to know. Even those who don't want to, who cares not to know, we will also show it to their face that the current crop of members of the House of Assembly are the type that Ekiti State should be proud of. Not only that, no assignment given to members of this House, they will do it with energy, zeal. And I say, and I'll be saying it anywhere, that this is the best house that any governor anywhere can pray to have. This is best house that anybody can pray to have. I appreciate you, my dear colleagues, for your selfless service. And don't also forget that politics is also coming. I must also mention that. See, I know there will be a lot of lies against you. Please remain resolute, because now elections are on the way. And particularly with what you have done, a lot of them come around to see the new renovation, the renovation of the house. Most of them are also interested in coming to that place. So lies will start against you very soon. Lies upon lies. But please be strong. That is the only thing I will tell you, my member. As for me, I am not afraid of anything. So when lies come, we can see, and we are very strong. So my colleagues, when lies come, be strong, because you shall overcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You are a blessing to us indeed, Right Honorable Speaker. In view of the submission, I would like to withdraw my earlier motion and amend by moving the motion that this House adjourns until 11th of December, Thursday, 2025. I so move.
Seconder to that? Yes, Honorable. Honorable, who is celebrating is our father, Princess Teju Eyitayo Okuiga.
The Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Adeteju Okuiga. I represent Moi Ayikre constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise this afternoon to support the motion that this Honorable House convene again on the 11th of December, 2025. I so second.
Another motion for adjournment. Let's once again, condole with our own brother, Honorable Karim Agumbiade, on the loss of his father, or who he has regarded as his guardians. And also, please don't forget, tomorrow is the public hearing on 2026 appropriation by the Committee on Finance and Appropriation. Also tomorrow at 4 p.m. No, don't worry. Yes, we will get the news later. Then just look into our platform to know. Then, very important, because there will not be any sitting between now and that time. In Ekiti State, something very unique, something, a milestone, something great is happening. And this is on the 10th, Wednesday 10th of December 2026. 2025, sorry. A vision was birthed. A lot of people believe that this is not possible. Why? Because they believe that this is Ekiti. And for Ekiti, can anything good come out of Nazareth? They say. How possible for us? We'll rather go to Akure, or we'll go to Ibadan, or Lagos, or Abuja, before we can see such a thing happening. But dear colleagues, in your time, in my time, in our time, in the time of our children, it's happening. Commercial flight will begin operation in Ekiti State. I believe we will still set a day aside to speak extensively on this vision. We must give kudos to Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, who bet this idea and who started this vision. And we must praise and eulogize the man who did not allow this vision to become a steel belt. And that is our governor, Omoluabi governor, who strongly believe in continuity. And continuity means development of our people. His Excellency, Mr. Biodun Abayomi Banji, who will ensure the completion of this project to the extent that we now have a commercial flight in Ekiti State. And to all our leaders who also supported this idea, who allowed these ideas to be what we are seeing today. And to you, members of the House of Assembly, if you have gone against this vision, you won't appropriate fund that will enable the completion of this project, but you ensure that this project is completed. You are appropriating, you are oversighting, you are monitoring, you are working day in, day night, that we have this vision and it's becoming a reality in our time. So on Wednesday the 10th, all of us will be there for the inaugural commercial flights in Ekiti State, after which now even Aduloju, the Sergeant at Arms, can now fly from Ado Ekiti to Abuja. All of us, Iya Oniru, can also fly from Abuja. It is happening in our time because Ekiti will no longer be that landlocked that people talk about. Now we are landlocked, here locked, but no more. Ekiti to the world to Ekiti State. Congratulations to all of us in Ekiti State. On that note, I put the question that those in favor that this House adjourn to Thursday, the 11th day of December 2025, press yes. But if you are against, press no. And your voting starts now. Vote so that your vote will be counted. Yes. All right. 16. Am I correct? 16 people voted. Well, we only ask people who say no. But now, notwithstanding, 14 said yes. 2 said no. And on that note, the yes have it. I arise.